coronavirus relief bill is scheduled for a vote in the House today. What this means for you. And in sports, the Ohio men's basketball team is back in action after a 3-week break. Newswatch starts right now. Good evening, I'm Delaney Ruth, and welcome to Newswatch, your source for news impacting southeastern Ohio. The Athens City County Health Department held a mass immunization clinic today for public school employees. Public school staff returned for their second dose 3 weeks after their first dose of the vaccination.
I'm excited. Not much scares me, really. I know that research has gone into it. I know that they wouldn't release something to the public, hopefully, that would hurt people.
People are happy to get vaccinated. We are really enjoying vaccinating them because we realize that this is our way out of this pandemic, to vaccinate as many people as we can.
So far in Athens County, nearly 3,400 people have gotten their first dose of the vaccine, and more than 1,500 people have gotten both doses. As teachers receive their second dose of the vaccine, the Monday deadline in Ohio for students to get back into the classroom is quickly approaching. CNN's Bianna Galadriga, takes a look at school operations and the ongoing pandemic with 2 districts in Ohio.
It's 9:48 a.m. and time for students at Watkins Memorial High School to get to their next class.
I have to say, this is surreal for me to be inside of a high school.
Besides masks and social distancing, it's almost like school before the pandemic hit in Licking County outside of Columbus, Ohio.
High schoolers typically have a lot more freedom than students in the elementary level, but we knew that we could teach them the new routines and procedures, and that is what it's really all come down to.
Less freedom, but they're here, in school, in person, 5 days a week since August.
So try taking this to the other side first.
A lower middle-class Rust Belt town where currently 75% of the district's 4,500 K-12 students are in school full-time.
You gotta go around.
To get here, overcrowded hallways are now one way. Students go outside to change classes and allow in fresh air. They've implemented some of the CDC's guidelines, such as masking, cleaning, and contact tracing. But under the guidance of local health officials, they've foregone other recommendations, most significantly cutting the recommended 6 feet of separation in half.
I'm going to be honest, in the fall I didn't know what to expect. We are going to be all in. We're going to see what happens. The guidance was 6 feet, and here we are going with 3 feet. I was scared, and now over time I've seen that the spread is not there like we thought it would be.
K-12 math coach and vice president of the local teachers union, Alicia Sleeper, is frustrated that her own 2 children who attend a nearby district don't have a full in-person option like her students do in Licking County.
I would love to see my kids in school because they can use these mitigation strategies.
What is your response to many who argue that you're doing this at the expense of teachers in their lives?
I would ask for teachers to look at the data, to really dive in.
Current enrollment at Watkins Middle School is over capacity, so they've gotten creative with their use of space.
We're currently in our media center, but we've had to use it multitask. We've turned the back half of it into a classroom.
The district has been vaccinating teachers since mid-February. So far, more than 70% have received their first dose.
I don't think that vaccines are required in order to open schools safely.
They have seen positive COVID-19 cases in schools. The school district says it has less than a 2% positivity infection rate of students and staff. And Superintendent Casey Perkins was confident in her decision to open her schools and keep them open.
We haven't had one case all year that has spread from being in schools.
Her message to other school districts still hesitant to reopen? Call me.
Come take a look. Come, tour our schools, see our transition times, take a look at our classrooms, see our cafeteria. Look what we've done that we've had success with, so you can model it for yourself.
A message fully endorsed by sophomore Demaya Brown.
I'm really, really grateful that our district was able to open up and allow us back in the school building, because I can't imagine how hard it must be for students who are online to not be able to interact with their peers or get one-on-one help from their teachers. They somehow made it work pretty seamlessly.
Nelsonville York schools will soon be in person 5 days a week. Starting March 15th, only students who have a medical condition will be allowed to learn remotely. All Nelsonville York employees were vaccinated earlier this month as part of Governor DeWine's plan to return to in-person education. Parents who want their child to start in-person learning before March 15th may do so as long as the school is notified.
Hi, I'm forecaster Alyssa Lanier from the Newswatch Weather Center. Right now in Athens, it is 46 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. The humidity is 47% and the pressure is 30.14 inches and lowering. The winds are from the southeast at 5 miles an hour. Across the region, it is 48 in Chillicothe, 45 in Columbus, 45 in Newark, 45 in New Lexington, 46 in Athens, 43 in Cambridge, 48 in New Martinsville, 48 in Marietta, 46 down in Ripley, and 43 in Ironton, all under mostly cloudy to cloudy skies. It is raining in some areas of the region. You can see here it is raining. There are slight rain showers down in Jackson County, Vinton, Point Pleasant, Ravenswood. And in Athens, we are experiencing virga, so it means the precipitation is not reaching the ground. Looking at the headlines across the next few days, there is a chance of rain and warm temperatures will continue, so it will be a nice week ahead. Back to you, Delaney.
Thanks, Alyssa. Experienced campaigner for former President Donald Trump and top Ohio Republican Bob Paduchik took lead of the state party Friday. Paduchik and fellow Republicans pledged to strengthen the party's performance in heavily Democratic urban counties heading into the 2022 elections. Trump endorsed Paduchik to succeed Ohio Republican Party Chair Jane Timken, who is running for U.S. Senate. Trump called the man who ran his successful 2016 and 2020 Ohio campaigns outstanding in every way. Trump won Ohio both times by more than 8 percentage points. More than 250 federal cases have been brought against individuals who allegedly took part in or helped plot the deadly January 6th insurrection at the U.S. Capitol. At least 10 of those cases are against Ohio residents, identified through social media and surveillance footage. In the days and weeks following the assault, a Whitehall man was arrested after he was seen on video wearing a jacket with his painting company's name on the back, while he kicked in a Capitol building window. A Cleveland school occupational therapist was arrested after social media users linked her to photos taken in the chamber of the U.S. Senate. Ohio has a lower rate of deaths related to police interventions than the national average, according to a study from Ohio University. The national average is 2.99 deaths per 1 million residents. According to the study, Ohio's is 2.4 deaths per 1 million residents. Ohio is 35th in the nation when it comes to officer-involved deaths. Southern Ohio's number is even lower at 1.5 deaths per 1 million residents. The Athens Messenger reported that the rate of these deaths in Ohio is more than 300% higher for people of color. The Ohio budget is in the review process with hopes to stimulate the economy. These national stories and more when Newswatch returns.
All you have to do is write one true sentence. Write the truest sentence that you know.
We've been thinking about Hemingway for literally decades. You have someone who is often considered the greatest American novelist and has an outsized life.
It's hard to think of a subject that's more iconic than Ernest Hemingway.
Within a few sentences of reading a Hemingway story, you were not in any confusion as to who had written it.
Hemingway can be read as he wanted it to be by ordinary folks, and yet beneath it is as deep an exploration of art and the human experiences that is just miraculous to me.
He was always questing. The perfect line had not happened yet. It was always a struggle, trying to get it right, and you never will.
He's this big game hunter. He's a deep-sea fisherman. He's this lover. He's a man's man. And all of that was true, but it wasn't completely true.
The way into understanding him is through his relationships with the women in his life. His mother, his sisters, and then the 4 women who he married in succession over the next 40 years of his life.
Ernest and I, really, are afraid of each other, each one knowing that the other is the most violent person either one knows.
In working on the film and delving more deeply into his demons and his struggles, how much his work mattered to him, I came to have a much deeper appreciation for the real Ernest Hemingway.
Finding out more about him was revelatory and shocking, and at some point, you just kind of had to check everything you thought you believed and begin again. We were just not prepared for how complex the story was going to be.
Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost is suing the Biden administration over the delay in the release of the 2020 census data. The U.S. Census Bureau was scheduled to release the data in May, but announced earlier this month it will be released in September due to COVID delays. Yost is suing to get it earlier. He says laws cannot be arbitrarily changed and the agency must do its job, even if it's inconvenient. Ohio could lose 1 congressional seat based on the upcoming data. House lawmakers are examining Governor Mike DeWine's state budget. The budget is a 2-year, $75 billion spending plan that includes a $1 billion initiative to help the state recover from the pandemic-related economic issues. The budget also proposes $10 million for body cameras for Ohio police, a continuation of toxic algae reduction, and money for social services to improve educational outcomes. House Republicans have removed a budget proposal that would have cracked down on distracted driving. House Finance Chairman Scott Oestlager, a Canton Republican, says lawmakers didn't want to deal with a criminal law issue in the funding proposal. Under current law, police need another reason to pull drivers over before they can give a distracted driving ticket. The House is expected to pass a $1.9 trillion COVID relief bill Friday. House Democrats will push the bill through, largely in lockstep with President Joe Biden's plans. But a key Senate official ruled to strike the federal $15 an hour minimum wage hike from this legislation. The move will appease moderate Democrats and some Republicans. And that version of the bill is expected to pass the full Congress. Nadia Romero joins us from Washington with the latest.
Somebody come and hold my hand, please. As more Americans get a COVID-19 vaccine, Congress looks to combat the impact of the virus with a nearly $2 trillion bill, the first step passing the House.
The unemployment insurance is there. The stimulus checks are there. Aid for state and local authorities is there. Resources toward vaccine distribution.
But some Republican lawmakers say the massive bill isn't really about COVID-19.
This is the wrong plan at the wrong time for all the wrong reasons.
Only 9% of this bill only goes to coronavirus vaccines. It only goes to helping us get over the pandemic. That's the biggest problem.
Democrats say most Americans support it.
Poll after poll shows that the vast majority of Americans, even Republicans, support President Biden's proposal.
And that includes some Republican mayors.
It goes straight into addressing food insecurity. It goes straight into assisting our schools and our first responders and coordinating with hospitals. It goes straight into putting needles into arms. I mean, these are basic services. This is what's keeping people from having their utilities turned off.
While the Senate parliamentarian ruled against the federal $15 an hour minimum wage hike as part of budget reconciliation rules, any relief is a welcome sign to unemployed mom Nicole Connor.
It's a sad concept that I have to consider myself lucky to be able to go into debt and make sure my bills are paid.
In Washington, I'm Nadia Romero.
NASA renamed their headquarters to commemorate one of their hidden figures. That story's still ahead.
Lately, we've been seeing some spring-like temperatures. Will those continue? I'll talk about that in my full forecast, but first, here's a look at stocks of local interest.
on American Experience.
Marian Anderson challenged people's ideas of what the souls of Black folk looked and sounded like.
She is willing to show up because she is not going to accept racial oppression.
She became the face of a movement. That was something she could never step back from.
Voice of Freedom on American Experience.
Over 100 million people in America suffer from chronic pain. Don't suffer needlessly. Lee Albert has a revolutionary new plan for a pain-free life. Imagine dancing, gardening, playing with your grandkids, all without pain. Well, it's not a dream. It's all possible with Lee Albert's proven strategies.
Join me, Lee Albert, for joyful, pain-free living.
Urban Forge, Ozark Artistry, an original documentary about remarkable Arkansas artisans who utilize the ancient craft of metalsmithing to create modern works of art. Experience their passion and pride of craftsmanship as they keep an ancient tradition alive, passing it down through generations with their skill and one-of-a-kind creativity. Urban Forge, Ozark Artistry.
Recently, thousands of years of medical knowledge about how the body works to heal itself has come to light. The result is an approach to medicine that doesn't rely on drugs and surgery unless absolutely necessary. These proven time-honored methods enhance your body's innate ability to burn fat, soothe achy joints, reduce inflammation, and boost cognitive function. Discover the power of ancient remedies.
Hi, I'm forecaster Alyssa Lanier from the Newswatch Weather Center. Right now in Athens, it is 46 degrees and the winds are from the southeast at 5 miles an hour. Across the region, it is mid-40s to upper 40s, 43 in Cambridge, 48 in New Martinsville, 48 in Marietta, all under mostly cloudy to partly cloudy skies. Looking at the hour by hour tonight, it will be 44 degrees at 8 p.m. and there will be overcast skies. There is a 70% chance of rain as a warm front passes through. There will be steady temps throughout the evening, but overall it will be a pretty nice evening. The low will be 42 degrees in Athens tonight, and it will be pretty gloomy with a 40% chance of rain after 1 a.m. The winds will be from the southeast at 0 to 5 miles an hour. Across the region, the low will be 43 in Columbus, 41 in Newark, 41 in New Lexington, 42 in Athens, 45 in Marietta, all under mostly cloudy skies with a chance of rain. Looking at the hour by hour, tomorrow morning it will be 45 degrees and there's a 30% chance of rain, so take an umbrella if you're going out and about. It will be cloudy tomorrow all day, so it will be a gloomy day unfortunately, but it will see nice temperatures at 52 degrees at noon, so it will be a spring-like day. Tomorrow in Athens, the high will be 56 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. There's a 30% chance of rain before 10 a.m. The winds will be from the southwest at 0 to 5 miles an hour. Across the region, the high will be 54 in Columbus, 55 in New Lexington, 56 in Athens, all under mostly cloudy skies. The National Weather Service issued a flood watch through March 1st at 7 a.m. in Gallia County, Lawrence County. If anyone in this area sees a flood and you are in your car driving, turn around and do not drown. A lot of deaths occur when people drive through floodwaters because floodwaters move faster than they look and it carries away cars. At the surface tonight, there is a warm front passing through, which is why we are seeing a chance of rain tonight. Tomorrow morning, that cold front will catch up to the warm front and it will occlude, which will bring more chances of showers through tomorrow morning. Tomorrow evening, another warm front will pass through, so we will see warmer temperatures on Sunday, and then Sunday evening, a cold front will pass through. So going into the work week, temperatures will cool down a little bit. Tomorrow in Athens, the high will be 56 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Across the region, it will be 56 in Athens, 61 in Marietta, 59 in New Martinsville, so mid-50s to upper 50s across the region, and the sun will peek through a little bit. Looking at the week ahead, on Saturday, there is a 40% chance of rain in the morning. The high will be 56 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Sunday, there is a 90% chance of rain, and it will be 60 degrees on Sunday, so it will be a very nice weekend temperature-wise. Throughout the week, it will be sunny, so that will be very nice and a nice break from the gloomy weather. Back to you, Delaney.
Thanks, Alyssa. I'm looking forward to some of those warmer days. The contribution of NASA's first African-American female engineer will be hidden no more. The name Mary Jackson, one of the inspirations for the book Hidden Figures, now officially adorns the space agency's headquarters in Washington. Jackson played a key role in the early days of NASA, doing the complex calculations that made space travel possible. In 2019, she was posthumously awarded the Congressional Gold Medal, the nation's highest civilian honor. Jackson died at the age of 83 in 2005. Members of her family attended the building's renaming ceremony along with the acting NASA administrator. The deputy mayor for operations and infrastructure in Washington, D.C., Lucinda Bobbers, spoke about her legacy.
The fight for freedom occurred not just in the streets, but as Ms. Jackson's life showed, it also took place within the system. She turned it inside out, so that more African Americans and women could excel. As a result, successful Black women are no longer hidden figures. We are very visible monuments to success.
After a 3-week-long break, find out how the Ohio men's basketball team fared in their return to the court when Newswatch returns. And here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
All you have to do is write one true sentence. Write the truest sentence that you know.
We've been thinking about Hemingway for literally decades. You have someone who is often considered the greatest American novelist and has an outsized life.
It's hard to think of a subject that's more iconic than Ernest Hemingway.
Within a few sentences of reading a Hemingway story, you were not in any confusion as to who had written it.
Hemingway can be read as he wanted it to be by ordinary folks, and yet beneath it is as deep an exploration of art and the human experiences that is just miraculous to me.
He was always questing. The perfect line had not happened yet. It was always a struggle, trying to get it right, and you never will.
He's this big game hunter. He's a deep sea fisherman. He's this lover. He's a man's man. And all of that was true, but it wasn't completely true.
The way into understanding him is through his relationships with the women in his life. His mother, his sisters, and then the 4 women who he married in succession over the next 40 years of his life.
Ernest and I, really, are afraid of each other, each one knowing that the other is the most violent person either one knows.
In working on the film and delving more deeply into his demons and his struggles, how much his work mattered to him, I came to have a much deeper appreciation for the real Ernest Hemingway.
Finding out more about him was revelatory and shocking, and at some point, you just kind of had to check everything you thought you believed and begin again. We were just not prepared for how complex the story was going to be.
Welcome back to Newswatch. I'm Michael Roth. It's Herm Edwards' favorite time of the season for local boys high school basketball teams, the playoffs. In Division II district quarterfinal action, second-seeded Logan Elm didn't break a sweat in their win. Athens saw their season come to an end as Unioto had their way with the TVC Ohio champions. Third-seeded Hillsborough was upset by Gallia Academy as the Blue Devils advanced to play Jackson. The Ironmen were pushed to overtime by Vinton County but came out on top. The Ohio men's basketball team was on a 3-week break due to positive COVID tests and contact tracing. They returned to the floor this week with 2 games in the combo. Despite the layoff, the Bobcats were shorthanded with starters Jason Preston and Dwight Wilson out. Who does Ohio call on? Freshman Mark Sears had 12 points and 9 assists, starting in the place of Preston at the point. Here, Sears shows off his float game for an easy deuce. The sun was shining in Athens, but inside the convo it was raining three-pointers. Bobcats hit 10 threes and raced the Zips out of town. Ohio beats the second-ranked team in the MAC 90-73. Ohio then hosted Eastern Michigan, and Jason Preston is back. He's cooler than the other side of the pillow. Preston messed around and almost got a triple-double in his return to the court. Jeff Bowles is looking to light a spark for the Bobcats, and Jalen White says, boom goes the dynamite with this three-pointer. You can now refer to Ben Vanderplas as Mr. 1K, as this three-pointer put him over 1,000 points in his collegiate career. Bobcats are in fuego with a 6th straight win.
Great job sharing the ball. Guys were hitting shots. Yeah, we did what we needed to do to get in the middle of that zone. It can be tough sometimes, especially with a lot of guys who haven't played against it before.
As the men's basketball team just completed their quarantine break, the Ohio volleyball team is currently waiting to get back on the court. The Bobcats had both of their games scheduled for this weekend canceled due to positive COVID tests and contact tracing. Ohio is set to host Ball State on March 4th. The Bobcats are currently 4-3 in MAC play. I have one question for all you Ohio Bobcat fans. Are you ready for some football? After only playing 3 games in the 2020 season, Ohio had their 2021 schedule posted today. Non-conference games with Power 5 foes Syracuse and Northwestern headline the early season schedule, with non-conference games against Duquesne and Louisiana sandwiched in between. Ohio starts their conference slate with Akron and Central Michigan. The middle of Ohio's conference schedule includes 3 straight games versus MAC East rivals before Ohio travels to Ypsilanti to take on Eastern Michigan. The Bobcats' final 2 games are home against Toledo, and then they travel on the road to face Bowling Green. The Ohio baseball team had their home opener this afternoon. After going 1-2 on the road against Radford, the Bobcats hosted Morehead State for a doubleheader at Bob Wren Stadium. Ohio wasted no time getting the bats going, scoring 2 runs in the first inning. Here, Isaiah Peterson is testing the outfielder's arm, play at the plate, and he is safe. That would be all the run support needed for Joe Rock. The southpaw no-hit the Eagles in 7 innings of work. Rock would only walk 2 batters in a dominant outing. Here's the final 2 outs, a routine 6-4-3 double play to give Ohio a 6-0 victory. As the great Ernie Banks once said, it's a beautiful day for a ball game. Let's play 2. Hopefully the Bobcats can sweep the Eagles. Back to you, Delaney.
Thanks, Michael. The newest residents at a Tennessee zoo are finally getting to know each other. A giraffe calf and zebra fowl had a little play date at Zoo Knoxville. The young animals remained in close proximity to each other and watched as the other played. The giraffes and zebras share an enclosure at the zoo that will allow the babies to get even more acquainted. Workers say that the calf and fowl are both doing very well, and they are currently on display at the zoo.
Tomorrow in Athens, the high will be 56 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. There is a 30% chance of rain before 10 a.m. and it will become mostly cloudy throughout the day. Winds will be from the southwest at 0 to 5 miles an hour. Across the region, it will be mid-50s to upper 50s, 54 in Columbus, 54 in Newark, 55 in New Lexington, 56 in Athens, all under mostly cloudy skies. Taking a look at the week ahead, this weekend we will see warmer temperatures, 56 and 60. And then throughout the week, it will be sunny. Back to you, Delaney.
Thanks, Alyssa. And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Delaney Ruth. And stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at woub.org. Have a